Welcome to Bikesphere, your home for everything two-wheeled, past, present, and future. Today, we explore a motorcycle that bridges time, one that reaches back nearly a century and revives an icon for a new generation. This is the 2026 Harley Davidson Flathead, a tribute to one of the most influential engines in motorcycle history, reborn with craftsmanship, purpose, and soul. In a market filled with smart screens, adaptive suspension, and hyper-naked speed machines, the 2026 Flathead arrives like a warm, nostalgic breeze. It's a bold, confident reminder that sometimes less is more, and tradition can still turn heads. Design. From a design standpoint, the 2026 Flathead is a love letter to the past. The classic hardtail silhouette remains, with swooping fenders, a peanut tank, and vintage tank badges that are hand-applied and clear-coated to preserve texture. The seat is a solo leather saddle, suspended by visible springs, a nod to the earliest Harley cruisers. But here's where Harley gets clever: the chassis is not a true hardtail. Instead, it uses a hidden monoshock system cleverly tucked beneath the seat, preserving the original look while making the ride substantially smoother. Paint finishes come in deep, glossy schemes: crimson root beer, iron ash, and heritage blue, with pinstriping done by hand on the tank and fenders. Every curve and contour has purpose, echoing designs from 1940s service bikes and post-war cruisers. Engine. The crown jewel of this bike is, of course, the engine. Harley has recreated the side valve configuration, using modern materials and engineering standards. It's a 1,868 cubic centimeters V-twin, still air-cooled, still low-revving, but now with fuel injection, an ECU-driven ignition system, and modern internals to reduce vibration and extend reliability. Producing 68 horsepower and 94 pound-foot of torque, the engine is tuned for that old-school feel: torque down low, a lazy but confident mid-range, and a sound that's more heartbeat than howl. It's about feel, not figures. There's a visceral pleasure in every revolution, a connection between rider and machine that modern liquid-cooled bikes often lack. Even with modern upgrades, Harley resisted the temptation to make this engine too clean. It still shudders at idle. It still sounds mechanical. You can feel every pulse through the bars, and that's exactly the point. A walk through history. Before we dive into the machine itself, let's turn the clock back to the early 20th century. The Flathead engine, Harley Davidson side-valve V-twin, was introduced in 1929 and went on to define the brand's identity for decades. From civilian cruisers to World War II military motorcycles, the Flathead was known for its simplicity, durability, and low-end grunt. This engine design was never about high RPMs or cutting-edge efficiency. Instead, it offered accessible torque, ease of maintenance, and a mechanical symphony that resonated with American riders during times of hardship and recovery. The Flathead became a workhorse for the people, a blue-collar engine that could take punishment and keep rolling. Fast forward to 2026, and Harley isn't just cashing in on nostalgia. This isn't a remake, it's a reverent continuation, like a vintage bottle finally uncorked. Riding experience. On the road, the 2026 Flathead is an experience like no other in Harley's current lineup. It's not trying to compete with the Pan America or the Road Glide. It's about the ride, the moment, and the story it tells mile after mile. Throttle response is smooth but not instant. There's a gentle delay, like the bike is asking, "Are you sure?" Gears shift with a firm click. The clutch is heavy but deliberate. You don't ride the Flathead fast, you ride it full. You take back roads instead of highways. You slow down to hear it echo between buildings. You wave at every rider because they know that sound means something. Suspension, though hidden, does its job well. Harley made sure the retro look didn't mean retro comfort. The ride is balanced, predictable, and shockingly composed even over rough pavement. Technology. Despite its throwback appearance, the 2026 Flathead has its fair share of tech, only it's cleverly hidden. LED lighting is housed in vintage-style casings. ABS and traction control come standard but are virtually invisible and less engaged. There's even an optional vintage-looking navigation unit mounted on the bars that resembles an old map case. The ignition is keyless, but you can use a traditional-style key fob if you prefer. There's a USB-C charging port beneath the seat, hidden behind a leather flap. Harley has even integrated a low-profile security system, including GPS tracking, without disturbing the aesthetic. It's tech with tact. You get the conveniences, but none of the distractions. Customization. Harley Davidson knows that its core audience loves to wrench, modify, and personalize. That's why the 2026 Flathead is built on a semi-modular platform, with swappable pegs, bars, saddles, and tank badges. Harley's accessory catalog includes dozens of period-correct upgrades, saddlebags, tool rolls, fishtail exhaust tips, and even a WWII-style headlight cover. The Flathead is built to be personalized, and many riders will see this bike as the canvas for their mechanical art. Ownership. With a starting price of $26,999, the Flathead is not an entry-level Harley. But for what it offers, heritage, craftsmanship, exclusivity, it's a worthy investment. Harley has confirmed that this model will be limited to just 4,000 units globally, each coming with a signed certificate of authenticity and a serialized engine badge. Collectors, riders, and historians alike are vying for a place on the pre-order list. Expect this bike to appreciate over time, especially as emissions laws and EV transitions change the landscape of motorcycle production. Final thoughts. The 2026 Harley Davidson Flathead is not just a motorcycle. It's a memory. A mechanical connection to the days when riding wasn't about power modes or 0 to 60 times, it was about wind, grit, and freedom. In resurrecting the Flathead, Harley has created a rolling time machine that refuses to be modernized in spirit, even as it quietly evolves in function. At Bikesphere, we salute Harley Davidson for crafting a machine that speaks to our collective motorcycling soul. The Flathead is not a step back, it's a step into something deeper. If you're a rider who values character over convenience, authenticity over algorithms, then this bike might just be your holy grail. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more deep dives into iconic motorcycles, right here on Bikesphere.